Welcome back, everybody. Matt the Mad here. Hope you're doing well. You know, there's a trend in Hollywood. There is. Every decade, every decade there's a trend. Whether it was the original film, maybe it was the gangster era, the western era, the horror era, or when sequels were very popular. Pump out that sequel, pump out that sequel. Then we got remakes. Let's remake that movie. Let's remake that movie. Then there was the Legacy sequel that was very popular in the 2010s. Legacy sequel, maybe. Legacy. Even like a Scream 4, Halloween 2018. There's others. Legacy sequel. And that term was, we're gonna bring back our legacy, even Star Wars, like The Force Awakens. We're gonna bring back our main legacy three most of the time, like Gale, Julie, and Sydney, Luke, Han, and Leia, Laurie Strode, legacy sequel. Even Terminator Dark Fate. And we're gonna introduce new characters that will then take the franchise further. But ever since 2020s, in the 2020s now, Hollywood has adopted the long-awaited sequel. Now, we've had long-awaited sequels prior to the 2020s. Like Blade Runner 2049. That came out in 2017. That was a sequel to the original Blade Runner from the 80s. We had Dumb and Dumber 2 in 2014. That was also a sequel to the 1994 original Dumb and Dumber. We had Zoolander 2. Once again, a sequel to the early 2000s, 2001 Zoolander. And some would even say Glass was kind of more of a long-awaited sequel to Unbreakable, even though there was Split in the middle there. Yeah, Split. We had like Scream 4. That was 11 years after Scream 3. And Toy Story 2 to Toy Story 3 was 11 years in between. We had even, what was the other one? Incredibles. Incredibles 1 to Incredibles 2 was 14 years. So we've had a long-awaited sequels prior to the 2020s. I'm not saying we haven't. But we are starting to see an abundance of the term long-awaited sequel hitting the 2020s now. Starting in 2022, we had 3. We had Top Gun Maverick. Technically that was going to come out in 2020, but because of the pandemic, it got pushed 2 years. But Top Gun Maverick was a long-awaited sequel to the original Top Gun from the 1980s. We also had Hocus Pocus 2, a long-awaited sequel to the original from 1993. Disenchanted, a long-awaited sequel to the original Enchanted in 2007. And lately we've been hearing a lot of announcements for long-awaited sequels. Just this year, we're going to be getting Beetlejuice, a sequel to the original Beetlejuice from 1987. We're also going to be getting Gladiator 2, a long-awaited sequel from 2000, the year 2000, 24 years ago. This coming week, we're getting Beverly Hills Cop 4. The last Beverly Hills Cop movie came out in the early 90s. Even I just talked about the other day that they're right now shooting Freaky Friday 2, a long-awaited sequel to the remake of the 2003 film with Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay Lohan. That's coming out next year. Even Bad Boys 3, that came out in 2020. That was a long-awaited sequel to the second Bad Boys that came out in 2003. 17 years until we finally got another Bad Boys movie. From 2003 to 2020. We heard announcements for I Am Legend 2 with Will Smith. That came out, the original came out in 2007. This one might come out maybe 2026, 2027 for the 20th anniversary. 28 years later, a long-awaited sequel to 28 weeks later, that came out in 2007. Spaceballs 2. They just announced Spaceballs 2 a week ago. The original came out in the 80s. And now, recently, in the past 2 months, they announced Happy Gilmore 2. The original Happy Gilmore came out in 1996. And this is probably going to come out next year in 2025, most likely. So we are in the era now of a long-awaited sequel. Is this a good thing? I would think it depends. If we get movies like Hocus Pocus 2 and Disenchanted, then no. But if we can get like Top Gun Maverick level, then yeah, this is good. This is really good. Good for you. And like I said, this coming week we got Beverly Hills Cop 4. We'll see if that lives up to, all these years waiting for another Beverly Hills Cop movie. Beetlejuice 2. Now it's going to be coming out in just a couple months in September. The first week of September. You got Michael Keaton back, you got Winona Ryder back, you got Catherine O'Hara back. Will it live up to that original Beetlejuice? Hopefully. Gladiator 2. That's going to be a big one. Bad Boys 3 was really good. That came out in 2020. That's one of the better Bad Boys movies. So that lived up to the long-awaited wait. So if we can get Top Gun Maverick level and Bad Boys 3 level, I'll be looking forward to these long-awaited sequels. But let me know in the comments below. Do you like this new era in Hollywood of the trend of a long-awaited sequel? Yeah, we've had some before. Like I said, I'm not saying we haven't. Like I said, Blade Runner 2049, Dumb and Dumber 2, Zoolander 2, Toy Story 3 back in the day, Scream 4 back in the day. Even like I said, Glass. That was the one that had Bruce Willis and Samuel Jackson return, which we didn't see them in Split. So it was more of a true sequel to Unbreakable that came out in 2000. So that was 19 years later. But like I said, are you liking this new trend? The long-awaited sequel. And what movies have you been wanting a long-awaited sequel to? Like, I would love to see another Minority Report. That would be interesting. And don't forget, like 2 years ago, they announced another Constantine with Keanu Reeves. That original came out in 2005. That's going to be 20 years old next year. Now they announced that they're going to make that another one. We'll see, but they did announce it. And like I said, by next year, that will be 20 years. The original will be 20 years old. So, once again, what other long-awaited sequels do you want? And when I say long-awaited sequels, now some people might be like, well, Matt, they just put out Inside Out 2. That was the last one came out 9 years ago. Yeah, but that's 9 years. I'm thinking about anything 10 or over. More over 10 years. Considered a long-awaited sequel, in my opinion. 9 years, And who knows, Inside Out 2 might have came out earlier if it wasn't for the pandemic. So, you gotta remember that. Incredibles 2, 14 years, that's a major difference. Right, they've been talking about doing another Princess Diaries 3. The last Princess Diaries movie came out in 2004. That would be considered a long-awaited sequel. But let me know in the comments below, what are your thoughts on this? Do you like it? Do you not like it? And like I said, what sequels do you want to see that you've been dying for a sequel for forever? Forever. Forever.